Hey there, fact fanatics. Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into 50 fascinating facts debunking persistent historical myths. From ancient empires to modern misconceptions, it's an epic journey through time. So buckle up because things are about to get real, historically speaking.
Let's start with Cleopatra, a ruler shrouded in mystery. Cleopatra ruled Egypt but wasn't Egyptian. She was of Greek descent from Ptolemy I, Alexander the Great's general.
Ever heard the Great Wall of China is visible from space? That's as true as a unicorn riding a dragon.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but those horned helmets often associated with Vikings. Totally inaccurate. No archaeological evidence supports this image.
The phrase "born by caesarean section" suggests a link to Julius Caesar. However, C-sections were fatal then. Caesar's mother, Aurelia, lived long after his birth. The term likely came later. The image of slaves toiling under the scorching sun to build the pyramids is ingrained in our minds. Recent evidence suggests the pyramids were built by paid laborers, not slaves. History often paints Napoleon Bonaparte as a short emperor with a massive ego, but Napoleon was actually of average height for his time, around 5 feet 6 inches. Stonehenge, that enigmatic circle of stones, has puzzled historians for centuries. Stonehenge predates the Druids by over 1,000 years. The story goes that Nero fiddled while Rome burned. However, the fiddle didn't exist then. Nero may not have even been in Rome. The story is likely exaggerated. Contrary to popular belief, educated Europeans knew the Earth was round. Columbus aimed to find a faster trade route to the east, not to prove the Earth's shape. The Trojan horse, a tale of cunning strategy and ultimate victory, is a story for the ages. But did a giant wooden horse exist? Some scholars suggest it was a metaphor for an earthquake or battering ram.
The myth that Albert Einstein struggled with math is false. He mastered calculus by 15.
Let them eat cake? This phrase is often attributed to me, but there's no evidence I ever said it.
George Washington's wooden teeth are legendary. But the truth is, his dentures were made from human teeth, animal teeth, and ivory. The Emancipation Proclamation is often hailed as the document that freed the slaves. It only applied to states in rebellion, not Union states. The Boston Tea Party is often seen as the spark that ignited the American Revolution. However, it took years of escalating tensions before the war began.
The Middle Ages not so dark, after all. Often called the Dark Ages, this period saw significant advancements in agriculture, architecture, and learning.
Magellan's voyage, a circumnavigation of myths. Ferdinand Magellan is credited with being the first person to circumnavigate the globe. However, he was killed in the Philippines during the journey, and his crew completed the voyage. Henry VIII, love or politics? His 6 wives are legendary, often seen as driven by love and lust, but his marriages were also political. The story of Isaac Newton discovering gravity after an apple fell is classic. However, there's no evidence the apple hit Newton, though it inspired his thinking about gravity. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. Paul Revere's midnight ride is legendary. However, other riders like William Dawes also warned the colonies the British were coming.
Think again. Contrary to popular belief, most educated people in the Middle Ages knew the Earth was round, not flat.
December 25th, the real birthday of Jesus. The Bible doesn't specify a date for Jesus' birth. Early Christians chose December 25th, possibly to coincide with Roman pagan festivals. The Salem witch trials, separating fact from fiction. The Salem witch trials evoke images of witches burning at the stake. However, the accused were hanged, not burned. Chastity belts, myth or reality? These infamous devices designed to prevent infidelity are often linked to the Middle Ages. However, they likely weren't real or used until much later. St. Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland is a beloved legend, but Ireland never had native snake species. The Three Wise Men, a biblical mystery. We've all heard of the wise men who visited baby Jesus. However, the Bible never states how many visited Jesus. The Black Death, more than just a plague. One of history's deadliest pandemics, it ravaged Europe in the 14th century. Life in a castle, not so charming. Castles, those imposing fortresses, are often romanticized. However, they were built for defense, often cold, damp, and uncomfortable to live in. The Crusades, unraveling the complexities. The Crusades, a series of religious wars, are often seen as a clash of civilizations. However, political and economic factors also played into the Crusades. Gladiators, myths versus reality. Gladiatorial combat in ancient Rome is often depicted as a fight to the death. However, many battles ended with both fighters surviving. It was a brutal spectacle, but not always fatal. World War I, a tangled web of causes. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand sparked World War I, but complex alliances and tensions also contributed to its outbreak. World War II, a global effort. World War II was a global conflict needing a global response. The United States played a crucial role, but it was a combined effort with significant contributions from the USSR, UK, and other allied nations. The charge of the Light Brigade heroism or blunder. The charge of the Light Brigade is remembered as incredible bravery. However, it was a disastrous blunder resulting in heavy casualties for the British forces. England an island nation, but not untouched. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 is often seen as the last successful invasion. However, England was invaded again during the Glorious Revolution in 1688. The Great Depression, more than just a crash. The 1929 stock market crash is often blamed, but banking failures and international trade issues also played a role. The French Revolution, a recipe for revolt. Driven by economic hardship, famine, and political discontent, the French Revolution is often associated with Marie Antoinette's supposed excesses. The Cold War, a war of ideologies. The Cold War was a period of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, marked by proxy wars and indirect actions, not direct warfare between the superpowers. Hitler's rise to power, a democracy undone. Hitler's rise is often seen as a hostile takeover. However, he was appointed Chancellor after his party won a plurality in the 1932 German elections. The US Civil War, a nation divided. It was about slavery, states' rights, and economic differences. Remember the Alamo separating fact from legend. The Battle of the Alamo is remembered as a heroic last stand. However, some defenders were captured and executed after the battle. The Eiffel Tower, from temporary to timeless. The Eiffel Tower, now an iconic symbol of Paris, was initially constructed as a temporary exhibit for the 1889 World's Fair. Knights in shining armor? Not always so shiny. Medieval knights are often romanticized as chivalrous heroes. However, many were brutal, and chivalry was more an ideal than a practice. America, a land with a past. Indigenous peoples lived here for millennia. Vikings likely landed in North America 500 years before Columbus. European witch hunts, a dark chapter, a period of intense persecution and fear. Most accused witches were hanged, though some were burned in parts of Europe. SOS, a signal of distress. The Titanic's sinking is forever linked to the SOS signal. However, it had been used by other ships before. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, an architectural wonder. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is famous for its tilt. It began to lean shortly after construction started. Robin Hood, outlaw or hero, the legendary outlaw who robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. Early stories depict Robin Hood as more of an outlaw than a hero. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD is seen as the end of Roman civilization. However, the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, continued until 1453. Seppuku, the ritual suicide by disembowelment, is associated with samurai culture but was rare and for extreme circumstances.
Albert Einstein is credited with the theory of relativity. He built on the work of Lorentz and Poincaré.
And there you have it, folks. 50 fascinating facts that shattered historical myths. It's amazing how stories get passed down through generations, taking on lives of their own. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content.